We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome.
Being an officer in NAACP is not an easy task. It's a volunteer position, and people think you get paid the big bucks. There are some people that I want to pay tribute to in a special way. When I was in high school, I went to high school in Bristol, New Jersey, and it was a mixed high school. So we had friends there of both races, et cetera, but very seldom did the African Americans and the white students mingle after school. But we did have special friends, and there was a special couple of white guys that hung around with the brothers that played on the football team, et cetera, and we began to share time. After a while, one of the guys said to several of us that his mom has invited us over to dinner. Now we began to look at each other to think, now what does that mean? We haven't been invited to any White Houses for dinner. But what happened, what took place was we went. On the way, the brothers, we kind of make fun of just about everything. So on the way, this one friend of mine, Steve Fortune, is saying, well, I wonder what they really want. What if they poison our food? What if, and we kept saying, look, I'll tell you what, you eat the most, so you eat first. When we got there, I'll never forget the time. We went to, I believe it was like number 5 Hopewell Road. And we had meatball sandwiches. And we had a great time. And that was the beginning. Although we had been friends with this particular friend for a while, that was a special time. And we began to get closer and closer and closer. At the same time, in my homeroom, there was a woman who was a very nice person. She was she was smart, she was very attractive, and she was very nice. And we became very good friends. Her last name was Moore, my last name was Mars. My 2 friends here began to date each other, and immediately after high school, the word came that they were getting married. We thought that was unusual because we were about to sow our wild oats. But they got married, and since that time, we have been like family. We have been more than friends, we have been family. And I say that today, I bring it up today because over in this table right here is my friend's mother, Rosemary Facemeyer, and my mother, Billy Mars, sitting together. So several of you may know Mike Facemeyer and Becky Facemeyer. He held several political positions here in Salem County. And in my office, as you can see through my bio, I work for Congressman John Carney, a Democrat. Well, Mike Facemeyer, they don't know his name, but in the office, I always refer to him as my Republican friend. So they always, after a while, they said, somebody says, is your Republican friend black or white? Because I'm always talking about it. Well, I thought that was unusual because it's absurd to think that I only have one Republican friend. Of course, I'm sure I have at least 3 or 4. Let's begin. I stopped by here to make 2 points. The first point is that in 2015, there is still a race problem in America. And the second point I hope to make is that it is not racism that is the most evil and catastrophic and most damaging force that has plagued America, but rather the acceptance and the silence of good people who know better, but who enjoy the privilege that it brings and the convenience that comes with it. I am a child of the 50s and 60s, and during that time we watched a lot of television. One show I want to comment on used to begin like this. You unlock the door with a key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadows and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. I want to tell you that the Twilight Zone scared me to death. I mean, it scared me so bad, I can't watch it to this day. I can watch Bonanza and The Rifleman and Andy and Mayberry, and sometimes I watch Gunsmoke when I get home from work just to relax. But I'm sorry, I cannot watch The Twilight Zone. I have actually analyzed this. What is the reason why I cannot watch a TV show that is so old it doesn't even come in color? Here is what I came up with. The Twilight Zone was written so well, it made you believe it was real, and the storylines made you escape from reality. But then, in the end, it zapped you and brought you back. In many cases, my friends, those episodes were dream-like sequences that very often turned into nightmares. In my text tonight, I want to show how the American dream for African Americans have been a basic nightmare that could have been a 10-part series on the Twilight Zone. But how, with your help, they could become beautiful dreams once again. For the sake of my presentation, I need your assistance. I want everyone to put on their Twilight Zone glasses. Now in my Rod Sterling voice, follow me as much as you can. Imagine, if you will, being in a country that was labeled the New World. In this land, people were free. People could start from nothing, but go to school and become anything they wanted to be. They could determine who represented them in government by simply selecting them through a voting process. The people in this wonderful land could own property and could live.
We will be able to rise from the fatigue of despair to the buoyancy of hope. And this will be a great America. We will be the participants in making it so. And so as I leave you this evening, I say, walk together.